Well, you don't say. Okay, well, toilet paper, am I right? Okay, thank you.
Who was that, Peter?
It's my consultant.
Your what?
My consultant. I hired someone, to help come up with episode planning, setting up scenes, different things like that,
Not really.
All right. Sorry I'm late. Pastor John was holding up the line at Joe Bean's. But here's your order.
Rick, thank you so much. I was just thinking I needed coffee. Here you go, sir.
Why is Rick bringing us coffee?
Oh, Rick, yeah. Well, you know how he shoots the videos and things like that? I hired him on as an intern as well to get us coffee, make sure that Piper's furs...
You hired an intern?
Oh, yeah. It's just been me for a while, so I figured why not use the extra funds for the show to help make things better for myself. Easy peasy.
What's next? Are you going to tell me we don't do letters anymore?
Jess, don't be silly. We actually do email now. We still print it out because it gets the letter vibe. Which, speaking of which, oh no, where did I put the letter? Rick, you sly dog.
I give up. I really thought that God wanted me to come back to the PB&J show, but now I just feel confused. Everything is changing, and how do I fit in?
Jess, of course we want you back on the show. You fit in here. I missed you. The kids missed you. My mom keeps texting me about when is Jess getting back on the show.
But why does it just feel so uncomfortable?
Well, listen, I may not have all the answers for that, but I know that I have a Bible story that can help you with that.
Oh, that's good. At least we still have Bible stories.
We don't change everything around here. But let's check out this Bible story.
Stories of the Bible. Peter walks on water. This is Peter.
Hey-o! Whoop.
Peter was a fisherman who was called by Jesus.
Hey!
Peter saw the many miracles of Jesus.
Whoa!
And he heard all his teachings. Great crowds followed Jesus wherever he went. One day after Jesus had done a great miracle, he sent the disciples in a boat across the lake while he stayed and sent the people home.
See ya! Hey, Jesus!
After sending them home, Jesus went up into the hills by himself to pray. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!"
Hold on there.
But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage. I am here." Then Peter called to him, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water." So Jesus said, "Yes, come." So Peter went over the side of the boat.
Whoa! You're awesome!
And walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and the waves,
Whoa!
he was terrified and began to sink.
Baby, help me!
"Save me, Lord!" he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. Jesus said, "You have so little faith. Why did you doubt me?" When they climbed back into the boat, the wind stopped. Then the disciples worshipped him and said, "You really are the Son of God."
Wow. Peter, that was a great story.
I agree. And not because it was about a guy with a really cool name.
Peter had confidence he could come to Jesus no matter how scary the storm was.
But when he took his eyes off Jesus, he began to sink. There are times where we can be fearful or have a lot in our mind. That can look like having a big test coming up or having a fight with a friend.
Or even coming back to the PB&J show after a year away.
Exactly, Jez. I mean, in those moments, we can look to Jesus and walk forward knowing that Jesus will help us. We don't need to be confused or scared.
You're right. I don't need to be confused because God's got me.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Jez, but that sounds like a pretty good big idea.
I think you're right, Pete. Hey, let's say that together.
Confusion cannot conquer me because I belong to Jesus. I love that. See, Jez, I'm glad you're back. You don't need to be confused about your decision, especially if you felt like that was what God was asking you to do.
You're right. Thanks for encouraging me, Peter.
Anytime. Well, I think that's it for today, so we will see you next week on
The PB&J Show.